us, huh?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it rocking.
Let's go.
Woo! So, Josh, are we cool? All right, so I don't know how well I'm going to be able to... Oh, wait, I got to shout out all the sponsors.
Oh, yes.
Shoot.
Don't forget the sponsors.
Don't forget that.
Shouts out to the sponsors.
Got to pay the bills, man.
Okay. Shout out to Scott Sigman of Ortho Lazer. York Athletics is in the building. York, let's make some noise. We got Mikey Bonkers of Anabolic Aliens over there.
What up, boy?
He's giving out a free workout program.
Yes.
Of course he
Sir.
is.
We got
take that.
Pepsi Worcester in the building. We got JP Licks in the building.
Okay.
We got my guy Fabio from Brockton Mag. Yes, sir. He's the most handsome guy I know. We got Xavier from Sheeps and Wolves. Yes, sir. We got Mass Music in the building. Where are you? Shlomo. Yes, sir.
Hey.
And then we got Dunkin's. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and shout out to the Warehouse 11 for having us. The space is dope.
Shout out.
Pays
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
So, I don't know how much I can really hold a focused conversation for this whole thing.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
Yeah, ain't
But
gonna be easy.
I think we'll just start off by everyone introducing themselves. We'll start over here. Be loud and proud. And let's just get this thing
All right.
going.
So we talk about our shows, just introducing ourselves? What are we
Give
doing?
your plug, man. Put your
All right.
sauce on it.
All right.
Right here.
My name is Ian Hates. I have 5 different shows between Ian Hates and Scene Daddy. Pretty much talk about metal music, rock music, anything in the scene. Do interviews, movies, relationships, all that kind of stuff. What's up, buddy?
My name's Stefan. And I'm from the Urban Collective. Our show is mainly about entrepreneurs throughout the city. We try to connect them together, interview them, find out what they like, how they got to where they are. We've had everybody from Liz Miranda on, Mav from German 94.5, these guys on here, Celeste. Anybody in the city that's moving, doing something, we want to interview you because we want to get that word out there and promote you, but also help you find out other work and connect with other creatives in the city.
Hey, my name is Celeste.
Celeste is very soft-spoken.
My name is Celeste. I'm a therapist in Boston, and I have a podcast called Celeste the Therapist Podcast. And I talk to people who are doing things to empower other people. So I help people kind of shift the way they think.
Okay.
And I have no idea what we're talking about today, so I'm a little nervous.
What's good? My name is Sho from the ItsLitBoston podcast, and my co-host is Sam right here, and we just talk to anybody and everybody based on life. You come on our show, you can talk about your brand, but we talk about life and you.
No filter.
None.
Show.
Definitely. I'm Sam. I'm the other half. Our podcast, we definitely don't like the bullshit. We don't like you wasting our time. So if you do come on our podcast, don't waste it. We're unfiltered. We try to talk to everybody, anybody. Doesn't matter if you're the lowest of the lows or the top of the top, but if you come on our show on your PC, we will call you out on that bullshit. So just so you know, I'm the unfiltered one.
Hey.
They came up on mine. It's true.
Exactly. We was unfiltered as fuck.
I forgot to shout out Adam and Sean. They're also helping out today. Thank you, guys.
Oh, Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Again, I'm Conor Holway. I run Golden Deer Productions. Thank you guys for coming today. Really, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
And let me toss it over here.
I'm Liam of the New Age Insiders, the premier place for fans of all kinds to connect, discuss, and to be heard. We talk about pro wrestling and pop culture. I am also the host of That Movie Show alongside Mike Wendt of Wicked Bites that you can find on Nessun. And Late Night Liam, a late night talk show, all can be found on newageinsiders.com.
He practiced that shit.
He's got that down.
Here's the thing, one more thing. Just because we are downloaded on 6 continents, we are trying to get Antarctica. If anybody knows a partner or a scientist, you let me know. I'll be here.
Hell yeah.
How do I follow that? Damn it. My name is Hot Sauce. I run the Henny and Hot Wings podcast. We talk about love, sex, and relationships in their most unfiltered way. And anything else under the sun. We interview like the It's Lit Boston. We interview any and everybody as long as you have a personality and you can make me laugh. I'll get you drunk, I'll feed you, and then we will talk a lot of shit.
Dope.
So my name is Amber. I'm the co-host of Hoodgrown Aesthetic, which is an art podcast here in Boston. A lot of people may know me as the former co-host or host of the Museum TV, which is a blog on YouTube and all over that interviews entrepreneurs and just creatives in the city. But Hoodgrown Aesthetic really focuses on the arts. A lot of focus gets put on music and businesses in the city, but there's really a whole arts community and industry out there that can be built. And so we talk to local artists of color, but we also highlight artists of color who are making changes in larger museums and galleries and in the art world in general. So I'm happy to be here representing for the artists.
Yes, sir.
My name is Candace Hayes, but you can call me Chase or C Hayes. Doesn't really matter as long as the flavor stays in your mouth. I have a YouTube channel and I have a podcast, The Vault with Chase, as you can see. So with the YouTube channel, it's Swipes and Giggles. When we talk about love, relationships, sex, all that, dating online, how to slide in them DMs properly.
Let's connect.
And then for the Vault podcast, it's literally anything and everything. It's about art, music, politics, pop culture, and all that. I have a question with Chase. It always talks about relationships, sex, whatever you feel. And I invite people, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on here, I'm just trying to get to know you and you get to know me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, pass it to Amir.
What's going on, y'all? My name's Amir Max. I'm the host of...
It's all facts.
Amir Max and It's All Facts. I'm the host of the Temper Zone podcast, or as I usually start off, the Temper Zone podcast. Every episode I started off that way, so I had to do that. My podcast, it's a music podcast, and you know, as a hip-hop artist myself, I just really wanted to give an outlet for artists to speak their mind, because artists got so much to say out here. And I want them to take, all they say in their IG stories and just do it in a more professional way. And I'm really starting to do that. And I don't just have hip hop artists as well. Anyone that's just making music and anyone I really find cool is welcome to the Temper Zone podcast as well. So I've been doing that since September. It's been really dope. Met a lot of great artists, and it's just really good to get all the artists who are making great music out here together and have a platform for them to speak their mind and promote what they got to promote.
So Josh is just switching mics real quick. Shout out to Josh.
Uh-oh.
So Amir does an
Do my
amazing...
intro over.
Amir does an amazing... Or if we're familiar with Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN broadcaster. Come on.
You do Stephen A?
Give him the impression.
You got it, bro.
You got to do it now.
Spot on. I'm gonna call you out.
Kyrie Irving will be going to the Brooklyn Nets this year.
Okay, he got it.
If you see his reaction to the Boston Celtics, they have been treating him with such disrespect. That's all I got. Yeah.
That was good.
You got that.
Temper Zone.
It's so weird not being able to hear yourself.
Yeah, usually you used to have it in my head.
I'm having headphones.
Yeah, this is so weird.
Yeah, man, I feel you on that.
So I think I'll start it off by just saying we'll actually open it up for Q&A afterwards. If anyone has questions, we'll get you up here asking the questions. But I think we'll start off by saying, am I totally alone in thinking that Boston is up next as an entertainment market?
Boston's definitely got next.
Who wants to start?
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, we got Joyner Lucas and Cousin Stiz really killing it right now.
There are more than Joyner Lucas and Cousin Stiz.
But
Shouts out to them.
You can't name the regular people who everybody knows,
No,
bro.
but still though, look at the level they're doing it at. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's a lot of other people out here who are making music on a big level, but like those two are.
Joyner's not from Boston.
Worcester.
It's from Worcester.
Worcester.
I used to be petty about that, but when you really think about it, there's a hood everywhere, and there's a hood in Worcester, so you gotta sympathize.
Yeah, but we're talking about Boston though.
Okay. I think about the hood grown.
I like the hood too, but at the same time, Joyner's not from Boston. Millie's is not from Boston. He's from
Cambridge
and Worcester. People always get that misconstrued. There's
But
a
people
whole
are
ton
still
of
going to
other
call
artists out
them
here in
Boston.
Boston.
At the end of the day, people are still going to call them Boston.
No, they won't.
Because they think that Massachusetts
Outside of
consists
Boston,
just
they will.
Boston.
I'm here to correct them. I'm here to correct them.
Real quick for reference, they're talking about two artists, big artists that have like a national platform.
Yep.
That have kind of been blown up, and one of them named Joyner Lucas. He's an incredible artist.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually from Worcester, so there's this massive division saying, is it Boston music or is it Massachusetts music? just for the.
I say it's mass music.
It's mass music.
It's mass
yeah,
music.
definite.
No, yeah, don't call it Boston.
Yeah.
But
Just say
also,
mass.
we can't be mad that they're in the conversation. Like,
wait.
you
I'm
know,
not
like
mad.
they're in the
We gotta correct you,
conversation.
though. I'm not gonna let
It's
nobody
crazy.
walk
I'd
around.
rather have them in the
Boston.
conversation and not have anything at all. So that's one thing that I appreciate about them. At least they do that.
There's plenty of people from
But you
Boston.
close.
Ian,
That
you're bringing
close
a
to
metal
Boston.
music in the city.
So I'll take the opposite stance on this. So if we're talking, when you're talking about what concerts or what live shows are coming to Boston, so you're talking about entertainment, you're talking about people actually coming here. So Worcester is completely different from Boston in that stance itself. So with metal, rock, post-hardcore, hardcore music, there's not a whole lot of that in Boston. Most bands will go out to Worcester. They'll go to the Palladium.
Yep.
That's huge out there for them.
Yep.
But we don't really have anything here in Boston to get those mid-sized bands, those huge bands, because they're not going to play TD Garden. They're not going to do that. House of Blues is okay, but that's still medium-sized-ish. So for me, with my style of music that I listen to, that I used to play, there's really not that much. It's Brighton Music Hall, Paradise Rock Club, Middle East.
Yeah.
But those are smaller venues. Those are 200 to 1,000. We need more ways of getting people to this city if you want it to be entertaining.
All right, let's send it over here. What do we think about that?
Listen, Boston been on, okay? There's nothing ever stopping our grind of what we do. What I think what makes us different from every city, I mean, you're always gonna have crabs in a barrel wherever you go. Yeah. But I think with Boston, with things and events like this, we're always trying to put on for each other and try to make each other known for something. Like I was talking to Sheeps and Wolves, and I was talking to Brockton Mag. Like it's like one of those people like, oh, they're out of Boston. No, they represent Brockton themselves, So like you don't want to ever represent something that you're not from, nor do you condone. You know what I'm saying? So I would never say, oh, I'm out of Boston. If I'm outside of Massachusetts, yes, I'm gonna say I'm from Massachusetts, but I'll say I'm from the Avon area, even though it's really nothing. Avon's literally a star on the map. But I'm the next big thing coming out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I gotta make it known. I gotta make it known. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're in Massachusetts, a lot of people don't know where I'm from. I'm just like, it's just 4.5 miles. Don't worry about it. You're gonna zoom past it, or you went to Walmart. Either which way.
Well,
I love Walmart.
I think, Liam, you could probably have an interesting perspective on this because your show is like on a national level.
Global.
Exactly.
Get it right.
Don't represent us.
6 continents. No,
I'm
it's
gonna get that 7th.
yeah. I'm trying. I'm going to the New England Aquarium daily, talking to penguins. Seeing
Liam.
if one of them knows a cousin down there. I don't.
Liam, it's melting.
on.
It's melting. It'll be here soon enough.
It'll get here soon.
Exactly.
Save the world.
Global warming, it's a thing. Yeah, but you look at the podcast community here in Boston, and the big thing is that like this is a great start to bringing these people together because all of you, for the most part, are music people. I'm actually a film person, and there's actually something very interesting that's kind of happening in Boston right now, and it's been happening for the past 5 to 8 years, and that's the Massachusetts Film Credit. It's a tax incentive.
credit.
It's a tax credit for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. Basically, if you come and make a movie here in Massachusetts, they're going to give you all sorts of tax breaks. And so basically,
Explains a lot.
The government,
Make a movie.
the government goes back and forth on capping it, getting rid of it, keeping it, and it's causing a lot of productions coming out of Hollywood because it's very, very expensive to film in Los Angeles to come here and not come here. It's why everything that's happening in Georgia is so important because Georgia currently has an amazing tax incentive. And so if certain political things happen, that might go away. Certain companies are pulling out. And so if that does happen, it could impact what entertainment looks like here in Boston because now films are going to have another reason to come back here. And so we are on the cusp, but it feels so cutthroat because we are so close to New York that, we were talking just a few seconds ago about, the difference between Worcester music and mass music. The thing is that right now we can have that conversation later. We need to establish the foothold as an entertainment capital first.
Facts.
And that's kind of what's important. And
Does it depend on the kind of movie that you get a tax break for?
it's not like independent features. It's like
So I can't put my movies
like
out there.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, unfortunately, Adam Sandler's filming on the North Shore right now. He's filming some Halloween movie, and they're gonna get a tax credit.
But the one that I did in my house,
But the
I
one that
can't
you
get
did in your
back.
house, that's
Okay.
unfortunately.
All right.
And to piggyback,
That's a different platform.
Well, it depends, because you can go and you can get a really nice camera, and maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Let's pass it this way.
no, I was gonna say to piggyback off what you're saying. when I go out of town, I go anywhere else, we're known as a sports town. I'm tired of us being known as a sports town. Even though
Sports
I'm a
are
big sports
education.
fan, you know, I love being a Patriots fan. I'll walk out, I'll go to New York with my Red Sox hat on, anything on there, just go to a game. Love doing that. But I want us to be known not just as a sports town, but entertainment. And I think if we stick together, we push each other, we will get to be known as that.
Right. One of the biggest lies that Boston tells is that it's like the arts capital. And we do have some of the most, they did a study because there's this new position that was created. It was like the mayor level Office of Arts and Culture, which is like the first time that our cities recognize arts and tourism and culture on that level because gentrification. And so they have to make the city interesting. What was I saying with that?
Pass it to Show and Sam.
No, that was good. That was good. I
smoked too much weed.
Art capital.
Right, so the biggest lie that they tell, right, thank you guys, community, this is why I'm here, smoke too much weed, but anyway. Okay, so at the end of the day, they did this study, they said, we have the most arts events per capita of any state in the country. Really? But do you guys feel that? Because I don't.
No.
And the art world is so whitewashed as well. Everybody knows about the controversy that happened at the Museum of Fine Arts, and everything that museums are doing to try to encompass and involve artists of color. So you're seeing a lot more murals, you're seeing a lot more live art, you're seeing people invest in the arts, but the biggest lie they ever told is that we're like the arts capital. So like we're known as a sports capital, we're known as this arts capital, but I don't feel that.
We don't feel it.
Pass it too. Let's get Show and Sam on this one.
Take a show.
Thanks. No, Conor, what you're doing here is beautiful. You know, you spoke to me about doing this last time at the last event we were at, and I was kind of booted, so I was just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He was off the loud pack.
I was kind of booted, but I always want to ask you, like, what makes you work so hard? Because you, event after event after event, you constantly just pull it through. So what is it about doing all this shit that, like, gives you that fire and passion to do it?
I think everyone thinks I'm kind of crazy, to be honest with you.
Kinda.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes
Fire.
crazy
Crazy.
to get somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. I just got a motor. I just like really want to be successful really bad, and I want to do it in my own way for the most part. So I like doing everything on a totally independent level. Like it's me and Jack on most things, but I just kind of feel blessed that like we're in a city where it's like it's a newborn baby. It's like you can do anything you want with it. There's no blueprint. So it makes it fun for me because then I can kind of put my own twist on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Like for us in the inner city, like when we first started, when I first joined with Sam, because he's the curator of ItsLitBoston. Like he created us. So when we first started, there wasn't that many podcasts. It was Hot Sauce and Hottie and Henny and Hot Wings and another one that's not here. That's not around anymore. But we've all grown. We've reached out to her. We reached out to Celeste and Urban Collective, and we created like a DM group called Boston Creatives, where we just try to have everybody come out. And now we've all grown. We'll find out other podcasts out in the city. Met Amir over at your event the first time and everything, and he's a young boy. So he got that college scene. It's like, all right, we need to.
That's a Stephen A. Smith right there. Young Stephen A.
You know. So it's great to see all the podcasts popping out. But there's still a bridge that needs to be built, though. Yeah. There's a whole bunch. Like now, I just met the wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
You know
now
what
I
I'm
want to wrestle and make movies.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is knowledge.
Get that text right off.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. This is knowledge in the inner city that we don't have, that we should have, so that we can expand on our own brands and the knowledge that people in the city actually know about. Because when you know about the block that we live on,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when did you guys decide, or how did you know you wanted to do something together? Because I think, Liam, you probably have a divide in a lot of the wrestling podcasts. I have a divide in a lot of my music ones. No music podcast works together.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of infighting. There's a lot of backstabbing. And for anyone that knows, for anyone that does listen who might be out there, for sure, my show doesn't talk about anyone else. Other shows steal stuff. Like, how did you guys get over that? Was it the whole Boston thing, or was it something else?
So my entire motivation for podcasting, and the reason I'm here right now, is I believe that my fans aren't your fans and your fans aren't my fans. And we live in a medium where it's on-demand radio. It's not, I have to tune in between 2 and 6, and that's the only time.
sure.
And if your show's on from 2 to 6, then I can't listen to you because I'm listening to another one.
Yeah.
You know, if you're driving, you can listen to a podcast. If you're at work, you can listen to a podcast.
At the gym.
At the gym. It doesn't matter. So I have always taken the approach, and it's ultimately how I found my producer, Bill Neville, at Bill Neville NAI on Twitter.
Shout out.
That's how we
Quick
found him.
plug.
He had a wrestling podcast, and when we were in our infancy of getting this, our show off the ground, I looked out to every single podcast that was in the area, and I was like, I want to do something. I want to do something with you, and because I'm going to get exposed to your fans are going to get exposed to me, because it needs to be collaborative. Now, on the national and international scene, that's become very different because when you do reach, certain levels, it becomes, well, I'm the worldwide leader in this, and it begins to get a little cutthroat there, and it's annoying when people, take every little thing that you say, but
that's the thing, yeah.
At the end of the day, you need to collaborate.
We're international, global with a lot of this stuff. So I don't see, and it's not against Boston, but I don't consider my podcast a Boston podcast. Do you know what I mean? So it's not promoting. I mean, I promote local bands on the show for sure, but that's not what it's about. It's about reaching as many people as possible.
Stefan, what do you think?
For me, the reason why we started that and why I branched out and started meeting more people is exactly like you were saying. Your fans are not my fans, and by working together, I think we can become bigger. So that's why I've kind of done that and pushed myself out. If it was me, I'll be like, oh, I'll do this by myself. But I realize if we have help and we help each other out, we'll become bigger, and we can all eat from the same plate. And people are being so defensive and everything. You don't need to be so defensive. Everybody can eat from this. Podcast is becoming a big industry. This year alone, you're getting into the billions of dollars just from advertisement. It's going to grow into a $10 billion industry. Keep that in mind.
Cool. Well, let me segue a little bit for Celeste, and this is a good segue. So does everybody here monetize their podcast, or do some people make money, some people not make money? Celeste, we'll start
That
with
movie
you.
show presented by Showcase Cinemas. Sign up for.
Tax write-off. Do I mind?
So for reference, what I mean is a lot of podcasts, traditionally you'll get paid like pre-rolled ads, or you'll have sponsors, so you'll make money every episode. I bet it's a pretty mixed batch over here in terms of who gets paid.
Yeah.
Celeste, you want to start?
Currently, no.
Speak
Currently
up,
not.
Celeste.
No.
She said no.
But have you been considering it though?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Why haven't you done it?
Ask her the tough questions. Make it uncomfortable.
Speak up.
How many of you guys monetize over here?
I monetize.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll start. Danielle, you want to talk about it a little bit?
I monetize through merch, and we're just starting to get into sponsorships. But because we are liquor and food, we usually get sponsorships with liquor and food. So I started monetizing T-shirts. So we have a whole T-shirt brand dedicated to Henny and Hot Wings. We do pop-ups across wherever there's an event. I have an event today. Shout out to sundresses, singles and sundresses, if any of the ladies want to come. Men can come too to see women in singles and sundresses. But yeah, I do pop-up shops and I sell merch. They're all branded with Henny and Hot Wings. So along with getting people to wear your shit, they are also spreading the message of your podcast. So that's how I monetize. It's easier that way. I don't have to plug. I just show up, buy a T-shirt. Thank you. Listen.
I think one of the ways for me, I'm gonna monetize my podcast right now is starting.
Yeah, you can smile, bro. It's okay.
No, I'm just thinking right now.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, no. One thing I was thinking is definitely trying to do merch. As of now, because a lot of things that people don't realize is when you try to monetize your podcast in terms of getting sponsorships, you need a shit ton of listeners just to get that, you can't just you gotta know people to get the sponsorships, so that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. You need a lot of listeners just to get it. So for me, starting off right now, I think I'm just gonna go into just selling merch.
Hold on, Amir. Hold on.
Yeah.
What do you mean by a lot of listeners? What's your number that you're aiming at that you think you need?
A lot of these platforms, like Libsyn, for example, it's a platform where you can put your podcast and get it to Spotify and a bunch of other platforms that people listen to podcasts. They tell you if you want sponsorships, you got to have over 1,000 listeners. And other companies you want this sponsorship, you need to have over 5,000 listeners. They're not giving just anyone a sponsorship.
So why aren't you going to the local brands?
There we go.
Well, I mean, definitely, definitely can start off local, and that's one way to definitely break into that. But like in terms of like when you talk about big sponsorships, like the ones that will really throw you a bag, like you gotta.
Why are you worried? Wait, you're worried about the big bag, but why don't you just worry about starting?
No,
just start,
and I think that's
bro.
because you're new, so that when you're first getting into podcasting, you see the bigger podcasts, and you're like, damn it, I have to get there to whatever. But as long you're newer. But you also have to think there are newer businesses too that necessarily can't afford a bag, but they would give you money to promote their brand, their business, their music, and especially as a music podcast, start tapping all the artists. Like, hey, you want me to promote your music? Slide me a little $20 because that $20 is good. It's good money.
Well, so
Because I monetize. I definitely.
But only if you like that artist.
My podcast. I definitely monetize my podcast.
Okay.
I do it through Anchor.
Yeah.
So like that's how I do it. It's
Yeah.
like, granted, you might not be getting. Every single time you get a listen, you ain't getting that whole $20 to $40.
But you get something.
Every time you listen, you're getting some kind of sense or something like that. Like last week, I was only at $2, y'all. I'm at $6 now.
Okay.
Like who was listening?
$6?
You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things. It's like, yes, of course, every 1,000 listens you get that whole dollar amount. But I'd rather get my pennies up and know that my worth is someone is out there listening to my stuff and someone's giving into it than sitting there going, dang, dog, I ain't get that $20 yet. Fam, $20 is going to turn into 20 G's real quick.
Facts.
And that's basically how that's going to happen.
all right, thank you everyone for being so patient. I want to open it up for a little Q&A. So if there's anyone out there who has a question, I think everyone up here pretty much loves to talk, so we could definitely answer it.
Yeah, we could do this all day.
All day.
Who's the brave one who's got a question? Anybody? Did everyone get a piece of apparel yet?
Y'all
Y'all don't want to ask nothing?
No questions?
Y'all scared as hell.
You don't have to be scared.
Well, then I'll go back onto the
We're not gonna bite.
monetization thing. I'll go back onto the monetization thing.
we got a question.
Also,
Shirley, hold on. Shirley got one.
got one?
What's up, Shirley?
Shirley, I want you to come up. Yeah.
Get your
Come
ass
on,
up
Shirley,
here.
Get, up here.
Get your wife up here,
Give it up
man.
for Shirley.
It's like the 1920s. Come here.
Hi, my name is Shirley. So the question I had is, what has been the most difficult challenge as far as running your podcast so far?
Probably the biggest one for us is you end up hitting a plateau. No matter what, your show will hit a plateau. You'll need to evolve in some way, and the biggest challenge is assessing what the landscape of your show is. Really like deep diving into your show and seeing where your shortcomings are, and then evolving from there. From us personally, we were a recorded show, and we started. You listened to the first show. I have it up on our YouTube. NewAgeInsiders.com on YouTube. It is in mono, and we just start. It is a static image of our logo at the time, which is garbage, and it just starts and it's in mono, and it's awful. And now we just celebrated 5 years 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Oh, congrats, man.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, we've never missed a week, and we are simulcasted on Twitch, Mixler. We have video, audio, graphics, B-roll, everything, the whole 9 yards. And, don't feel like you need to have everything right away, but know when it's time to add that next piece.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the hardest part for me with my podcast was finding a more quiet space. Like I can do it in my house, is no problem. Like with the microphone, obviously the better the equipment you have, the more you have the sound cancellation. But it was also like I have guests that I want to have, and not everybody's coming up in my house either. So luckily I found out with Massive Media they have a podcast room. I use that. But now, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Shirley.
Just cut me off, Conor. It's perfectly fine.
Keep going.
Thank you.
You're in a roll.
But now doing my podcast is time management, and because I do everything myself. Yeah. So I do YouTube video myself, podcast, editing, audio, everything like that. So
Okay. Hey, we got another question. What's your name? Avery? Avery. Come on up. And listen, I want you to direct this at Amber. Amber, you better have a stellar answer for this one.
Okay.
Give it up. Come on.
No pressure. I hope it's art related. Hi.
Hey, Amber.
What's up?
So one of the things that I heard a lot of you guys talk about One of the things that I heard a lot of you guys talk about was the idea of putting Boston on the map as far as an arts and a music city. So one of the things from my perspective that I've noticed is it seems like Boston is one of the only remaining strongholds for music genre like jazz, where you have so many great venues and so many great spots, especially people coming out of Berkeley and that sort of thing. Do you view a particular opening as far as a style of music, or is it just an overall vision for music and arts as a whole?
All right, so my answer to this is, I think I want to answer this from the arts perspective. I'm just going to go off the cuff. You have to set up a culture, an expectation that there's money to be made, there are people to meet, and there's something exciting out there. So no matter what genre, no matter what kind of art you do, there's always collaboration. So I feel like most musicians will need somebody to design their logo, their album cover, whatever. And so that's where collaboration happens across genres. But within the arts in general, all you need to know is that there's something out there. When I know there's a poppin' music scene, I know I can go and I can make some art out there. There's something about having the whole environment that's important. I don't know. Anybody else have an answer?
Jazz sucks.
Jazz sucks.
Oh, snap.
You don't like jazz?
Damn.
I think my mama got a question, but she's over there talking to Conor right now.
I think we have to mix this up a little bit, right?
Damn. I don't know how you like jazz, though.
No, I like that answer, though. But I do think that
Thanks,
jazz
I tried hard.
Ian hates.
I love art.
Give it up. All right, so listen, people are getting hot.
No pressure.
Things are good. We had one more question, and then after this, we're going to open it up for a performance by Nathalie. So, Celeste, the question is...
Brockton Mag got something.
Yeah, Brockton Mag.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you after? I asked this one?
While he's eating his
You're a
ice
great
cream.
guy. So we had a question in the front row. It was, what do podcasts actually do to promote the arts as opposed to artists? You're passionate about this, huh?
If you guys don't know, that is my mother. Hayes B.
Hey, moms.
Mama Hayes.
Mama Hayes in the building.
I'm not your mother right now. I'm not your mother right now.
Visual art, painting,
Hayes B. Art.
drawing.
There you go.
So I just want to make sure I get this right. You're
We're
asking,
talking.
what can the shows do to promote the actual person who's creating the art? Celeste, put your spin on it, man.
He also has some art up at the Strand Theater right now at my show Inner City Circle. Check it out. It's going to be at City Hall soon. Okay, sorry.
Nice plug.
There you go.
See, now she's
Why-
gonna make me
why
drive
me?
her. Like,
Just rip
All
it.
right, so I don't do artist stuff, but if I were to think about ways that
Your
people-
intro's a rapper.
Yeah.
And that's just dope. You better speak
No,
on that.
yeah.
Was it one of the ways, I know you don't do artists,
I know.
but one of the things that we do on our show for the Urban Collective is weekly we have different artists that we showcase their music. So in between our breaks, we put that. Not only that, but on top of that, when an artist comes on the show, we promote your music for the week. We promote your videos. When you push stuff out later on, you're coming out with an album. There's BAMS Fest that happened recently. We had artists that we referred to them, which was a big show in Boston that happened last weekend.
And it was awesome.
Dope.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
dope. So things like that we do to support you, not just, you come on, you do an interview and that's it, and I forget about you afterwards. I make sure I follow up with you weekly, yearly. I had people that I watched them grow from the beginning, and now that I'm seeing their art, it's beautiful. So
Right.
we do support you afterwards, at least on our show.
All right, so
It-
right. One more note about the art, because we are arts podcast. We've interviewed, so we tag artists, so we show their art on our Instagram. We also interview artists, so we speak to them and the conversations are on the podcast. But we've really taken advantage of having more events. So like with the Strand Theater, we collaborated with the Dorchester Art Project, the Afro-Caribbean Museum, and we're actually putting the art out into the community. And like I said, it's moving to City Hall. So we're trying to move out of the internet platform and interviews into actually creating a community physically, rather than just
making people
Fabio.
talk to each other for real.
Right, and we're like,
Hey, Fabio, last question, brother. Okay.
you ain't
you
done with
blew
that
it.
ice cream yet?
Okay, that was like a very Hollywood question from Fabio.
I couldn't even hear him.
He said, what inspires you to do what you do?
Well, I
And
can answer that.
someone who's apprehensive
Let's
to
give it to
start.
Celeste. She's ready. She's ready.
Oh, you ready now?
All right, this is
She's
what we're
ready.
going to do, though. Celeste,
Celeste.
you're going to give it your best.
What inspires inspires me to do what I do? Yeah. Oh, okay. So I've been in the mental health field for a long time, and I see how much people are struggling. And so what I realize is that people feel like they're alone in the struggle. So the way my podcast is set up is I talk to people about their story and how they overcome it, and so that gives people hope. So I do this because I want to give people hope and shift the way they think.
Whoa.
Shift
All right,
the
Show
way
and
you
Sam.
think.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sam.
What inspires us?
Yeah.
What inspires me to do the podcast is I want to have an in-depth conversation with the artists and the people that come on our podcast, because I've seen radio interviews, some other podcasts. I feel like it's a lot of bullshit questions and PC questions that you can go look up online. I want to know how you grew up, your favorite type of music, your honest opinions on certain things that's out here in the everyday world. And
Substance.
I feel like a lot of podcasts, well, not all podcasts, but some radio stations and other things are just hella PC. If you come on our podcast, we like to make it like a family. We like to have in-depth conversations. We'll take pictures with you. For sure. We'll share your music. We do Battle of Vibes every week where we post your music, we repost it, we repost other podcasts. We just try to spread love and build some kind of camaraderie within the city. You know what I mean? But
I got one.
We got to wrap it up.
Oh, I was going to say, I got a thing for how to start.
All right, real quick.
Just start. That's the simplest thing.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Pretty much.
On your phone, there is a voice recording app.
Yeah, everything has one.
Just start.
It's so
because
easy.
show 1 isn't going to be what show 5 is. What is in show 100 isn't 200. So just start.
That's right.
Okay.
You just gotta go for it. Yeah.
All right, so listen up. We're going to end it now. I just want to start off by saying thank you, everyone, for coming. Big round of applause. Nice to see you. Got the bass drop. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. We're just going to go through one last time your name, the name of your podcast, and let's do it quick because Josh is over there working his eyeballs
first time
out.
on camera.
At Ian Hates, at Scene Daddy. That's all my stuff.
At the Urban Collective, everywhere. Urban Collective.
Celeste the Therapist everywhere. Celeste the Therapist.
It's Lit Boston podcast on everywhere.
Same thing, Sir Comfortable.
I'm Conor Holway. I run Golden Deer Productions, and the name of my podcast is the Golden Hours Podcast.
I'm Liam. You can follow me at Liam NAI on everything. Follow the main show at New Age Insiders. Bill Neville at Bill Neville NAI. And everything is located at newageInsiders.com.
Yeah, I hate going after him. Henny and Hot Wings across all social platforms alongside Miss Hot Sauce to you. Everything. Love, sex, and relationships.
Your hood-grown aesthetic, Amber's Afro on Instagram. My co-host is Daughter of Contrast. Every Monday.
Candace, you can call me Chase. You can follow my personal Candy Taste Sweet podcast, the Vault Podcast _, and my YouTube one is Swipes and Giggles everywhere.
Yeah, follow me at Amir Max 1. Follow me at Temper Zone Podcast. Also got an EP dropping this summer, so stay tuned for that.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right, so with that being said, that concludes the MASSCast. Thank you, everyone. One sec. This was a lot of fun to pull together, and I'm hoping I can do more events this summer.
Definitely.
And I want to make sure everyone gets a piece of apparel. The apparel is completely free. That's on me, Big Bochi. Free piece. Go talk to the sponsors, go meet some people. And we're going to have Nathalie is going to do an acoustic set. Frank and Josh, thank you too.
Big up, big up.
Tell me when.
Thanks, everyone. This was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
Ready?
Conor.